Hey everybody, welcome to Universal Man. I'm back with another episode of the Porn-Free FAQs where I answer common questions around quitting porn and rebooting your brain. And today what we're going to be looking at is the question of, is mindfulness alone enough to quit porn? This is a question that I'll get every once in a while from guys who have been studying maybe a lot of mindfulness techniques. And mindfulness techniques are super popular today, and a lot of people extract a lot of value from them. And they wonder, is this enough? Can I just be mindful of my urges, and will that allow me to quit porn? And the short answer is no, this isn't really going to work if you have a real porn addiction, or you've just, seriously conditioned yourself to, rely on porn and use porn to manage your sexuality or your life. Okay. It's just not going to be enough. But before I tell you why, let's talk about what mindfulness is good for, because it's definitely not bad. All right. Mindfulness is the ability to be aware. It's the ability to observe your inner and outer experiences kind of from a place of detached calm. And that's really, really important. And by itself, it can get you out of the first stages of porn addiction recovery. Like, it can help you start building streaks to be, aware, because the first place people usually struggle around quitting porn is just that they're on autopilot. They just reach for porn without even stopping to consciously think about what they're doing. I know a lot of guys who struggled with quitting porn. They would just sit down at their computer and automatically type in their favorite porn site, and they would be there before they even blinked. And so if you're mindful, well, then you can catch yourself in that action. You can stop. You can break that flow of autopilot reactivity, and yeah, that's great. You can then not watch porn. Maybe, right? Because here's the thing. The issue with mindfulness alone is that it's not instructive. And in order for you to move through discomfort to not watch porn, what do you need? You need to have it clear in your head that that's what you're doing. You need to have an internal narrative that porn is bad for me, and so I'm not going to use it. That needs to be in your mind. That needs to be in your psyche. And if you lose that narrative, and instead that narrative becomes something like, using porn's okay, or it's all right if I do it a little bit, or it hurts, like I'm just so uncomfortable, I might as well just make it stop. Whatever kind of rationalization you come up with, if it breaks that, intention to not use porn, well, then you can do that even with full mindfulness. Basically, mindfulness alone is not enough to control that narrative. Mindfulness only works as long as that narrative is already set and not broken. In fact, being mindful can sort of make things harder, because if you're really craving porn, that's an uncomfortable experience. And by simply becoming aware of that, you've made that pain more present in your mind. It's like, instead of, ignoring the pain or trying to distract yourself, you've just immediately populated your brain with the discomfort that you're feeling. And so it's kind of like, how long are you going to stare at that without giving in, right? It's kind of like, how long are you going to stare at your arm being on fire before you do something about it, right? And so the trick then is there needs to be some sort of response. You can't just watch it, at least not indefinitely, because, especially if you have any sort of other emotional duress going on in your life, the only way pure mindfulness is going to completely work is if you completely detach yourself from your human experience, which is actually one of the negative side effects that people experience from doing too much mindfulness meditation, if there's such a thing. I mean, that's actually kind of the goal for some people. They want to be completely detached from this physical world. They want to be, completely, remove their ego from it. And most of us, we don't actually want that. I don't subscribe to that. I want to be fully plugged into life. I want to be more vibrantly here than I possibly can be. And I believe that it's good to have beliefs, to have truths, to have desires, to have these kinds of things. And just simply detaching, that's not my path. And I know that's not the path for most people. So if you want to upgrade the power of your mindfulness, then you need to add some kind of self-talk to the process. And I'm not saying you need to argue with yourself. You just need to feed yourself the truth. The truth is that, if you use porn, XYZ is going to happen to you. What are the things you care about? I know for me, I was going to become less productive. I was going to, screw up my sexuality. I wasn't going to be able to have the kind of meaningful sexual relationships that I wanted. The list goes on. Look at some of my other videos if you want to hear about that kind of stuff. But Just feed yourself those truths. Keep that narrative of porn is bad, I'm not going to use it, set in your mind. And then you don't need to just sit there and stare at the urge. I mean, sometimes it's going to happen. Sometimes you're not going to be able to go occupy yourself with other things, and it's appropriate to feel that loss and just let it pass through you. Sure, sometimes that's right. But for the most part, for the bulk of it, you're better off just getting on with your day, not just continuing to stare inwardly and like watch your suffering sort of, hoping that it'll just completely evaporate. Because, if there's more to the urge than just sexual desire, like if you're not living a life that you like, just sitting there and watching your discomfort is not going to make you like your life anymore. So go out there and do something. Put your mind to better things. And if you're really triggered and you're really craving, maybe do something real easy, like go for a walk or distract yourself with a book or something like that. Otherwise, it's go on and do the next best thing in your day. So that's what I have for you guys today. Hopefully you found this useful. If you disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, stay sharp. I'll see you in the next one. If you're ready to kick your porn habit and start thriving in real life rather than living in a fantasy, then check out my free Reboot Regimen Guide by clicking the link in the description. In it, I'll teach you the system of simple lifestyle and habit shifts that I've used to help thousands of guys quit porn and transform their lives. Also, if you want to see more content like this, then you just need to press 2 buttons, the subscribe button and then the bell button to turn on notifications. And if you could leave a like while you're at it, I'd really appreciate it.